So this is the follow. Safi Cheshech Bein Hashmoshes Veini Kedei Shir Hilch Shleishes Rivamil Achar Shkiyas Achama. It's the shear of a hilch of 3/4 of a mil after Shkiyas Achama. In the shear mil who shlish shah pachas chelik shleishim. What would you make out of this Ramah? What would you make out of? So what do you make out of this Ramah? What does he say? What is Bein Hashmoshes? Hainu kedei shir hilach shleishes river mil achar shekiyas achama. It doesn't say achar mishatishka achama. So it seems like one might come to a conclusion that the Ramah does not hold like the Rebbeinu Tam. He says Bein Hashmoshes is a shir of shleishes river mil right after shkiyas achama. That's the shir. And he says the shir mil is shlish shah pachas chelik shleishim, a third hour, which is 20 minutes, less than a 30th, which is 2 minutes, which is 18 minutes, which is the shit of the Magen Avraham, that it's 18 minutes is the shir of a mil. But it's very interesting. He should have said the whole arichas, that it's from shkiyas achama, it's 3 mil and a quarter, and that's when it starts, the shloisha riva mil, according to the Rebbeinu Tam. It's very interesting. So it's the halacha ein ma'asrin as a vadai, ve'ein matvilin as a kelem, ve'ein madlikin as a neris. And also ve'ein ma'arvin ariva techumim, because it's like a kinyan. Aval ma'asrin as a demai, chazal v'mater certain derabonans, ve'toimlin as a chachaman yolati b'limatvan, the chaman and ma'arvin ariva chatzeris. Umuter loim ele'enu Yehudi ben Hashmoshes lahadlik neil at Tzorech Shabbos. You could ask a guy to light a candle at Tzorech Shabbos. V'chein loim ele'lasses kol malacha shehi le'tzorech mitzvah or shetoret v'nechbes aleim. Or to tell a guy to do any other malacha, which is either for a mitzvah or you're extremely very busy Erev Shabbos and you couldn't get to it. It's a mistake and it's necessary for Shabbos. You could do that. Hagah v'chein mi shekibel olav Shabbos shoy shtayim koydem chashecha. And therefore to you it's Shabbos. Yachal loim ele'eni Yehudi, you could tell to an eni Yehudi, lahadlik haneir b'shar devarim shetzorech, any other thing he needs. Here the Ramah doesn't say the word torut v'nechpas or the letzorech mitzvah. It's because over here the Magen Avraham says clearly afilu shloi b'mkei mitzvah. Even she'oid hayoim gadol is bevada yesh mekoyim adayin lekiblu aleim Shabbos, and therefore, in such a case, his Kabbalah didn't include to be so strict, not to tell a guy even in a time when other Eden is not Shabbos yet. His Kabbalah is only for himself, but Amir al-Hakim doesn't apply yet if it's Kedim Bein Hashmoshes. When it's Bein Hashmoshes, it's already an Isser. It's a Sveike Deraisa, whether it's Shabbos. Chachamim were mekel in certain derabbanans, and Amir al-Hakim they were mekel if it's necessary. Siv base. Yes, oimrim shetzarich lahisel mechal al hakodesh. There are those who say that you have to be moiser mechal al hakodesh. As you remember, the Bihyasm brings that the Rambam doesn't hold the shit. The Rambam holds it's only legaber Yom Kippurim and it's only legaber the tainus, not legaber other things. And the Rambam holds that legaber shar Yomim Tovim and Shabbos, this halacha doesn't apply. And those who hold that it does apply are the other shit that's not the Rambam. And therefore, the Magen Avraham adds ches shetzarich lohisef v'hava mitzvah asay deraisa. Because if you hold like the Rambam, the Bihyasm is machriach. Rambam holds there's no mitzvah at all to be moiser on Shabbos. Elamai, the Bihyasm over here is machriach, not like the Rambam, and he says tzarich lohisef. He brings yashoim. Therefore, this is a deraisa. Okay, now coming back to our sugi. He says clearly it's from the Tchilas Hashkia Tait Shtois. Shein Hashemesh Neris Al Haaretz. Ad Zman Bein Hashmoshes. It's clearly Shittas Rebbeinu Tam that in the beginning after Shkia is Yoin, and you could do Tais Shabbos then. And it takes time till Bein Hashmoshes. How long is it? Well, Zman Hazeh, to Shloisha mil in Ervia, it takes 3 mil and a quarter of a mil. That's 58.5 minutes, according to the cheshbon of 18 minutes a mil. 3 mil and a quarter is 58.5 mil. Ratzal Asoyse Kulu Tisefer Soyse. Ratzal Asoyse V'mene Mikze Soyse. V'vat She Yosef Eis Azman, She Yevad Yom Al Chol HaKodesh. She has to add something which is Vada. V'shir Zaman Bein Hashmoshes. Now, how long is Bein Hashmoshes itself to know when it's Vada Elayla? V'shir Bein Hashmoshes, Man Bein Hashmoshes, Hu Shloishes Riva Emil, it's 3/4 of a mil. Shehem Mahalach Ela B'chmei Shmeyes Amos Koidem Alayla. It's 1,500 Amos before it gets Laila, which is Tzeis HaKechavim. Why? Because a sheer mil is 2,000. 3/4 of a mil is 1,500 Amos. Hagah says the Ramah. In other words, the Mechaber only said, when is the time of Tosefes Shabbos from Shkia now? And the Ramah adds that you could also add from Plaga Mincha. What is the difference? What is the difference between Shkia and Plaga Mincha? Remember from you learning the Shulchan Aruch?
An hour and a quarter? Oh, it's just 3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes. Why? Because let's remember what we learned yesterday in Shia, that according to Terumas Hadeshem, every time we say day is counted from Alois HaShachar till Tzeis HaKechavim. If we say that a mil is 18 minutes, that this is the Shittas of Shulchan Aruch B'Pashtus, then we're following that Shitta of Terumas Hadeshem, that the day starts from Alois and it goes till Tzeis. Oy Bazoi Plaga Mincha. When we say the afternoon means from Chatzois, not till Shkia, from Chatzois till Tzeis HaKechavim, that's afternoon. So how many, depending on every day, how many hours there are. So if it's 10 hours, then each hour is like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Now you take off the middle hour is for the Shechita. Second half of the day, the 5 hours, whatever the 5 hours Mani Yisar is Mincha Kitana, and you divide that in half, and you get to Plaga Mincha. But if you go till Tzeis HaKechavim, let's say a day which is exactly 12 hours, which again we said many times, this will be only in the middle of the winter, because it's from Alois till Shkia, till Tzeis. But however, if you take off an hour and a quarter back from Tzeis, if we hold like the Rebbeinu Tam, that what? Shkia is 72 minutes before Tzeis, it's 4 mil. So an hour and a quarter is 3 extra minutes. So Kum Tois as Plaga Mincha is what? Is 3 minutes before Shkia. That's in a regular day. It could be longer, it could be different. But in a day which is 12 hours, that's what it means. Now, here all the Achreina Mutshans of Zeir Shtai. Because we all know that the Magen Avraham says, look at the end of Yud, Kosev Riv, Hilchos Yom Kippurim, Dim Kibel Koidem Plaga Mincha, Ein Kabbalosei Klum, Ad Kal L'Shem. Yeah? So then he says, in Miu Kivin, the Yashemim, the Mechashvinim, et Chilas Ashkia, which we'll explain in a minute. But the Evet is Yesh Lahachmesh Lilasas Malacha. You shouldn't do a Malacha anymore. But Lav Dafka that you were Yotze with your candle lighting. If you have anybody in your household who wasn't Makabel Shabbos, make sure that he lights again in his Moitzayu. Because it's but the Evet be Machma not to do a Malacha. But according to the Riv, you weren't Makabel Shabbos. You lit candles on Monday. And B'meila, so Oibazoi Kum Techois, that everybody who lights candles every Shabbos, we light candles 18 minutes before Shkia. According to the Magen Avraham, which follows the Terumas Hadeshem, we're lighting Shabbos candles before Plaga Mincha every week. And Achreina Mutchan is with them that will have to say that when it comes to this Indian, somehow the Magen Avraham will have to be made over here for some reason, because we do light Shabbos candles every Shabbos, and many times it's Koydem Plaga Mincha. Yeah, and if we should follow strictly the Magen Avraham, we can't even do it today. In the times of the Magen Avraham, people followed Rebbeinu Tam to the T. So they did malachas after Shkia. For half an hour after Shkia, they did malachas. So they were able to light Shabbos candles a minute before Shkia, 2 minutes after Shkia. If the day is shorter, then Plaga Mincha could come out after Shkia. Yeah? So how does that work? So today it's impossible to follow strictly the Magen Avraham, because we're machmed, the whole world, even those who follow very strict the Rebbeinu Tam, and will never do a Melacha Motzei Shabbos before the Rebbeinu Tam, and at Tanesim they fast till 72. They're very strict with the Rebbeinu Tam. Nevertheless, they're also machmed. Nobody today does Melachas after Shkia. So you can't follow this Plaga Mincha thing. Nobody would light candles exactly 3 minutes before Shkia either. Yeah? So in this aspect, we follow that Plaga Mincha is according to what we said yesterday, the Shitta of the Lavush, that the day goes from Neitz to Shkia, and therefore Plaga Mincha is an hour and a quarter before Shkia. Let me just mention now, before we continue weiter with the Shir. This Shitta of the Rebbeinu Tam, the Minchas Kohen, has pages, parakim and parakim of the whole Sugya of Bein HaShmashos. A whole Sefer came out devoted for Bein HaShmashos. And he cites with the Rebbeinu Tam, he says most poskim help with the Rebbeinu Tam, Alter Rebbe schreibt anders, but the Minchas Kohen, like the Magen Avraham and all the early poskim, do follow the Rebbeinu Tam. However, the Minchas Kohen says it makes no sense to say that the whole world, Eretz Yisrael, New York, and any other place in the world, and Sai summer and Sai winter is always exactly the same. If you go to Eretz Yisrael, you will find out that Shkia, 10-15 minutes after Shkia, is pitch dark. If you go to a city that sits on the equator, it's even shorter. Mamish, a few minutes after Shkia is dark. If you come to New York, when we do Malachas on 45 minutes after Shkia on Motzei Shabbos, you could still see some light. It's not pitch dark. It's not Seis Kol HaKechavim. It's called Seis HaKechavim because it's Shlosh HaKechavim Beidinim. But it's not Seis Kol HaKechavim. Yeah? So the Minchas Kohen Tainet, that there's the same way we have the concept of what? Of Shoez Manias when it comes to Krishma, Tvila, Plaga Mincha, Sovs Malachilas Chametz, Sovs Mansreifas Chametz. Why don't we have a concept of the same concept of Shoez Manias when it comes to 72? Chazal said 72 minutes where? In Yerushalayim. And Yom Nisan and Yom Tishra when it's equal days. Or as we said, according to the Magen Avraham, it's the middle of the winter when it's 12 hours from Alois till Tzeis. But however, you have to adjust. So in many places, it will be much longer. Summer, when the day is much longer, 72 minutes is an hour and a half or 2 hours. And therefore, you should have to be machmir not to do a malacha till 2 hours at Motzei Shabbos, which the Welt is not machmir today. Though all those who follow the Rebbeinu Tam, follow the Rebbeinu Tam, period. Yeah? So, which is 72 minutes. But the Minchas Kohen, Tainet, we cannot be makel more. He says, in the winter, I'm not going to be makel to do less than 72. However, in the summer, I will be machmir that 72 is not 72, it's longer. 72, yes, in certain places, in Eretz Yisrael, certain times. But from this, we deduce and we figure out to other times, whatever 72 minutes means, according to the hour. The longer hour is longer 72 minutes. Understood? Yes? Okay. Now, others disagree very much with this Minchas Kohen, that it has absolutely nothing to do with the concept of how long an hour is. You could see winter or summer, lav dafke, that it depends how long the hours are, the sheer of how quick it turns dark, of how quick you get 3 chachavim beinim, are not tolu whether it's summer or winter, long hours or short hours. Elamaya, what is it tolu? So other achreinim say it's tolu pashat in the metzias of which oifik you are. Where do you sit? At the equator, or do you sit above the equator or below the equator? And let me see if I could try to explain this to you on a Zoom. Let me see if I could do this. Do you see this picture? Are you, yes?
Yeah.
This is the,
Yeah, I see it.
this is the globe and this is the equator. Yeah? Now,
Yeah.
okay. Now add this picture. Is it clear enough to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you see the person, I made a circle outside and a line going all the way to the middle. And I took from north and south, I made a long line separating north and south. Follow this? Open your mics. Let's start. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the circle is, a man is standing there. He is watching. He's standing there, and and the sun is about to set where the line ends at the center longitude line.
It's the horizontal line, or?
In other words, let me see if I can do it while I'm showing you. Okay, here. Oops. This. Oops. He is standing. Zoom is not behaving.
You talk about the horizontal line, the little black dot by the horizontal line.
Yeah, he is standing here where I'm pointing. See this?
Okay.
And the sun is setting here. Oops. The sun is setting over here. Oops. Sun is setting over here. So because he is 90 degrees before that, the sun is standing over here. The sun is not setting. The sun is right over here.
So it's midday.
So for a person who's standing where my point is, it's midday. For the person who's standing where the ball is, it's Shkia.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah? The person
So he's right at the tip
degrees,
of the globe, whatever that is.
the person standing in the beginning of the globe, it's 90 degrees. Yeah? So he's seeing the sun setting ahead of him. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that clear? Is everybody following?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Yeah. So where he's seeing the sun setting. Yeah. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
how far is he from where the sun is setting? 90 degrees. Correct?
Yeah.
When the sun steps out of the horizon, when it passes that line, the sun is outside of the horizon. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. When the sun went 1 degree outside of the horizon, how far is it from him?
91 degrees.
91 degrees. When the sun went 2 degrees, 91, 92. When the sun went 8 degrees, how far is the sun from him?
98
degrees.
98 degrees. Why? Because if you are standing at the equator and the sun is also going on the equator, your vision to the middle line, to the longitude, to your horizon is exactly straight. So your vision and the sun's vision is exactly the same. When the sun goes 1 degree, you see it further 1 degree. When the sun goes further a degree, so let's assume Shittas Rabbeinu Tam is 16.1 degrees. I'll explain what that means. When you go to Yom Nisan and Yom Tishrei, and you go to Eretz Yisrael, and you go 72 minutes after Shkia, the sun will be at 16 degrees below the horizon, 16.1.
Is that what it takes for the whole sun to be like without any light to come? That's the point?
Yes. And that's when you get so many stars. It gets dark.
Okay.
Because the sun is deep enough and depressed enough on the earth that it's not sending any light anymore. That's 16.1 degrees. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, that's if you live at the equator, because you and the sun have the same vision. Your line and his line is the same. Yeah? Now, what happens? Let me change the picture. Now watch this picture. Let me turn it the other way, the way you saw it before. No.
Yeah, that's how we saw it before.
Yes, okay. Okay, so you see the person who is standing in the middle? His line, where his vision ends, is the straight longitude line from north to south. Correct?
Which person?
The original ball. You remember the original ball?
Yeah.
His vision ends. To him, what does he see every day? When he's standing over here, how much could he see? You know what he could see? He could see everything from here all around here. He could see one half. Any person who stands on the top of a globe could see Kippas HaShemayim 180 degrees, correct?
Say 90 degrees to each side.
90 degrees to each side. North, south, east, west. Yeah, he sees a half a ball, correct?
Okay.
So therefore, the person who's standing in the, I'll number it. Okay, like this. I have to be trained how to run Zoom. Okay, so the person who's standing at point number 1, oh, now you see the opposite. Can I make a mirror view or something?
Probably.
Is there such a thing as a non-mirror view? Can you help me?
I don't know.
Let's share screen. Do anything? No.
If you put it on the computer, if you made that on the computer, then you can share the screen.
So how do I make it on the computer? Okay, it'll take me longer to do that. So
Yeah, it's not worth it.
okay, so you see the opposite 1 and the opposite 2. Okay, you can tell what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the person where his number 1, his horizon finishes at the longitude line, which says 1.
Okay.
Yeah. He sees that whole half, 90 degrees from one side, 90 degrees from the other side, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when the sun, no matter where the sun should be, if it's any place inside here, inside, I'm going the opposite.
Yeah.
To be a dentist. It goes in the middle. Any place inside here, he sees the sun. The moment the sun leaves and goes out of here, he lost the sun. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's for person number 1. The person number 2 who lives here, what does he see?
Along that other line, like that goes across.
The world is turned to him. His vision is anything which is in this line. And anything in this line he sees, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when he sees now sunset, let's follow this. His sunset, the sun travels here. Or in the winter, in the summer, the sun travels here. And he sees it on an angle. So if you walk in an angle, if you walk straight, when you walk a mile, you walk the mile. When you walk 2 miles, you walk 2 miles, correct? But if you walk in an angle, you walk on an angle and compared, so you're walking 2 miles, but if there's a line that's not perpendicular to you, but it goes a little bit crooked on an angle, when you walked a mile, you didn't finish a whole mile.
Yeah.
It's only when you cross a perpendicular line and you continue to walk further, you're walking another mile from the line. But if you're going on an angle, when you're walking a mile, you only walk 3/4 of a mile. And it will depend how strong your angle is, how much you're really leaving. It will depend how strong your angle is, how much you are leaving
You say you're walking with the line, essentially.
If you're walking with the line, then it's fine. If you are not, then you're walking 2 miles, but you didn't go away from the angle line 2 miles yet. So therefore, if somebody lives at the equator, when the sun sets, 8 minutes later, it's pitch dark.
How many?
8 degrees later, I'm sorry. 8 degrees, when the sun goes 8 degrees further, it's pitch dark. If you live at the equator. But if you live any place further up or further down, you are on an angle. And it will take for the sun, in your view, to lose 8 degrees, will take 10 minutes or 20 minutes. If you hold like the Rabbeinu Tam, you need 16.1 minutes to become pitch dark, to become night. That's if you live at the equator or in Eretz Yisrael. In Eretz Yisrael, that's the 72 minutes. If you're going to live a place above that, or way below the equator, much lower than Eretz Yisrael, I mean, relative-wise from the equator, yeah, then it could take much longer.
Mm.
So if you're going to open a Zman...
That's why essentially people live on the...
Say it again?
I say people live on the poles, the sun doesn't set.
Exactly,
because they're on
because they will see the sun, in their view, it goes around and around and around, and their particular line is the equator. If the sun is above the equator, they'll see it constantly. So as you go slower and slower and more down to the middle, but you're getting less of an angle. But yeah, so therefore, if you're going to open a Luach, myzmanim.com or myzmanim.com, and they're going to give you all the shir, they give you Al Rebbe shir, the Graz shir, they'll give you the Magen Avraham shir, the Rabbeinu Tam shir, they'll have 2 Rabbeinu Tams. Rabbeinu Tam according to 72 minutes, and they're going to have Rabbeinu Tam according to called milos. What does that mean?
So it depends on how far you are from the equator.
Computer, when is the degree? You could look it up in the computer, even if you're in Russia. But you just type into Google, in my city, which is a certain, where it is, when is the sun depressed under the earth 16.1 degrees? That's when Shittas Rabbeinu Tam is. This is following the Minchas Kohen's Mahalach, but not exactly. Why? The Minchas Kohen said it's following what?
Shosh
Manius, which other Achronim say it has absolutely nothing to do with that, but it does change depending on where you live. And so therefore, and the Alter Rebbe says it also has to do with summer and winter. It has to do whether the air is thick or thin. Because when we see the sun, it's not really the sun. The sun is past a few minutes before. And like you look into water, you put a pencil into water, you see a bend. Yeah? It's not a real, because you don't see it. So it depends, summer and winter, when we see the sun as lav dafka, the sun is in that spot. It's a very scientific, difficult thing. I'm not going to get into this. But lepoil, so this is how the Minchas Kohen would come to a cheshbon, that 16.1 minutes. So the Shkiyas Rabbeinu Tam at different places and different times have different timings. And you could have this in the Luach, they give you both options, 72 minutes or 16.1 degree. So too, they do the same when it comes to Alois HaShachar. When is Alois HaShachar? We didn't dwell on that too much, but when is Alois HaShachar?
Right before the sun comes up.
We learned the sugya.
Like right before the
what does the Gemara say? When is Alois HaShachar?
Not the comes up.
Amount of time has chased after the
Gemara says Alois HaShachar.
Before the name.
Either you hold like the shit of Dalet Mil or Hey Mil.
Oh, it said that. Okay.
Yeah. So Alois HaShachar, if you follow regular Shulchan Aruch Magen Avraham, what is the halacha? When is Alois HaShachar?
72 minutes before Nates.
72 minutes before Nates. If you follow the Minchas Kohen's Mahalach in the Magen Avraham, or with the way Achronim explained, it's going to be 16.1 minutes, 16.1 degrees, whenever the sun is there before sunrise. That's when Alois HaShachar is. Yeah? If you follow the Shitta that it's 24 minutes, the Alter Rebbe's Shitta, like the Rambam, that it's Hey Mil, and therefore a mil is 24 minutes. When is Alois HaShachar?
So he holds that it's 5 mil, right?
Yes. And we made the
So it'll
cheshbon
be
because it's
5
mil,
times 24.
So it's 5 times 24. That's exactly 2 hours
This is
before.
2 hours, 120.
If you're going to ask a Lubavitcher Rav, when is the Alois HaShachar? You're going to get 2 answers. I didn't ask Rabbi Malo Olav Shalom myself, but my chaver told me, Zamalek Markovich, Rabbi Markovich told me that he asked him, and he told him Metal Pashtus, 72 minutes. Why? You're going to learn now the Shulchan Aruch of the Alter Rebbe Siman Reish Samach Aleph, which is a Pella. Alter Rebbe says, Alois HaShachar is 72 minutes before.
As far as the following.
That's following the Magen Avraham.
But why is he following the Magen
I wouldn't have a problem
Avraham?
with that it's a stira to the Seder Achnasa Shabbos, because in Siddur, the Alter Rebbe is Chayzer. And he doesn't pass like the Rebbeinu Tam Bechlal. He has completely different shittas and all this man. I'm fine.
Okay, no.
But
You're saying
the problem
what he
is
writes in
this.
Shulchan Aruch.
Huh?
What he writes in Shulchan Aruch, not what he paskins.
So in Shulchan Aruch in Reish Samach Aleph, I'm sorry, I said Reish Samach Aleph. I meant in Simon Pei or Simon Tzadik in Hilchos Tfilas HaShachar. Hilchos Tfilah. The Alter Rebbe writes clearly that's 72 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, but that's Hilchos Tfilah. That's not. I'm saying like what does he paskin? Not what he writes in Shulchan Aruch.
Okay, wait a second. When it comes to say the Achnasa Shabbos, so the Gabbas Shabbos, he tells you clearly it's 24 minutes. Tells you clearly.
And it's 24 minutes times how much? How he says that it's.
But there's no siddur where it says when Alois HaShachar is. There's no siddur where he changed the Alois HaShachar. The main pella is, you know what the main pella is?
Us.
That in Hilchos Pesach, and if you look up if I'm not wrong, I didn't check it out now, but I'm almost sure that the Bnei Arav write in the Hagdama of the Shulchan Aruch that the Alter Rebbe wrote Hilchos Pesach first. One of the earliest things. And over there, he writes it in Siman Tov Nun Tes. He writes the halachas like the Rambam that it's hey mil, and therefore it's 24 minutes is a sheer mil, and matzahs should not stand still for 24 minutes. Look at Chila, it shouldn't stand for 18, but the Ikar sheer is 24 minutes.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
a Shulchan Aruch. And how could it be that later, when he wrote Hilchos Tfilah, which L'chayra was later, he writes 18 minutes? Because with Siddur, you could say it was Chayzer later on. It doesn't pass like the Magen Avraham. Fine. But here's the Shulchan Aruch itself. So some want to answer for some. The Arachreina Muchenzach, I saw that they're trying to reconcile that
Like
even
whom?
if you hold hey mil, that's a scientific thing. That's not. If you remember the Gemara,
Shir of Mahalach Adam Beinunus is not a scientific thing. Be fair. Shir of Mahalach Adam Beinunus is a concept that it's decided, and we're extracting what Shir Mahalach Adam Beinunus is based on what we know about.
You're correct. You're right. But let's remind ourselves from the Gemara. That's why it's very important to learn the Gemara and the Rishonim, and you get a little feeling of what's going on. The Gemara asked the Kasha, Lema to Yufta the Rabbi Bar Bachana. No, Lema to Yufta the Ula. So the Gemara says, Lema to Yufta the Rabbi Yochanan. In other words, Rabbi Bar Bachana Amar Rabbi Yochanan said that it's hey mil. And we learned in a Braisa, Rabbi Yehuda says, they said it's 4 mil. We learned in a Braisa that it says it's hey mil. So do you remember what the Gemara answers? The Gemara answers that Rabbi Yochanan will tell you, I never said that. I only said Mahalach Adam Beinunus Asara Parsal Bayim. That's all I said. The rest, what is before and after, it was their assumption. How does Rashi teach that Gemara? Rashi says that people used to wake up early in the morning, go to work, and come home late after Shkia. So their assumption was that when they wake up, that's when they're lost. So that's why they added hey mil. Yeah?
They're waking up earlier.
Because they woke up earlier. So Ken Zayin, and Mekena Psfarem for Nazar Azvos, that Enochanama, the cheshbon that the Gemara made from a din is based on hey mil. It's based on hey mil. And that's a cheshbon. The Gemara says, I saw the place, how far it is, how close it is. So the practical speaking, what the Gemara was talking is hey mil. And based on this, they were dividing the day because people were thinking that's the day. But be'emes lahalacha, the tzeis is only four. The alois is only 4 mil before. So the cheshbonos they made was made on 5 mils, so therefore 24 hours, 24 minutes is a mil. But really the halachic alois is not the alois what the Gemara was talking. The halachic alois is a little later. So that's can sein, but this is arichas, and we're not going to dwell on this. The bottom line is, I asked Rabbi Yeruslavsky that I asked myself, when is the alois? He told me, mit apashtas. 2 hours before night. Simple.
2 hours?
2 hours, yes. Why not?
Why, yeah.
It's 2 hours.
But she just says 2 hours.
Because according to the Alter Rebbe, it's 24 minutes.
That would be an hour and a half, no?
No. 5 times 24. It's
no.
a bill. Without my teretz.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
How much
I was
is
thinking
5
18 minutes. I was
times
thinking
24?
18 minutes. So he said 2 hours.
Huh?
Firstly, this is important information to know for Shavuos.
Huh? Yeah.
This is important information to know for Shavuos. So can I rely on this?
If you know Ivra quick. If not, you need the 72 minutes.
Not if I know Ivra quick, is if I kratz by the meal. Every year I notice for some reason people
Okay.
kratz by the meal until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know we discussed a little bit also the Alois HaShachar. Clear? Yeah. So where did we get into this? We got lost over here with the Alois HaShachar. So yeah, okay. So we touched upon this the 72 minutes. But what I wanted to say was, if you're going to take a luach and you're going to see Alois HaShachar, they're going to bring the Alter Rebbe. Some will bring 2 hours, and but the other shittas will be either 72 minutes or it will say degrees, 16.1 degrees. Okay. Now we're coming back to the Alter Rebbe, and I want to continue the shir, but maybe I want to give you a break for a few minutes, and then we'll go into the Alter Rebbe because it's lengthy and it's this whole discussion. So unless you want to learn for half an hour, learn the Alter Rebbe inside Siman Reish Samach Aleph, and only those sifrim are pertinent to this halacha. And then we'll go to teach the Seder Achnas Shabbos. That's more complicated. And then I'll teach you that inside of the Alter Rebbe. I just want to finish off with one little thing which we didn't discuss, is the Magen Avram, which brings Shittas HaYereim. And the Bach says that the Kenim and Anshe Maisa feeling the Chazoi, that you do 2 hours before Shkia. 2 hours before it says you make Shabbos. Why? Because Shittas HaYereim is that Mishatishka Achama doesn't mean after Shkia, like the Benitam, it means Adarabba, Koidem Shkia. And therefore, 13 and a half minutes, I'm sorry, I said the wrong words. Why 13 and a half minutes? 3/4 of a mil before Shkia starts Bein HaShmoshes. How much is 3/4 of a mil before Shkia? Help me out.
According to 18 minutes, it's 13 and a half minutes.
If it's 18 minutes, it's 13 and a half minutes. But if you're trying to be machmer all the shittas, if it's the Rambam, if it's 24 minutes, it's 18 minutes.
24
That's
minutes,
exactly
it's
when an
18
hour.
minutes.
That's exactly when our candle lighting time is. That's why I was set on that, because that is the earliest shitta that, according to some, that's when Shabbos begins. Sveikim and Ereis. Of course, it says only a Chassidim Anshe Maisa, Zikenim Anshe Maisa do that. So people still do malachas after that. But if you set a time for official candle lighting, for lichtbenchen, you do it befedish on a time as ausgelten lechol days. Also wenn man macht akvies a takana, macht man es auf den richtigen Weg, so sein ausgelten lechol days. So these are the shittas and the nyanim that we got so far till here, and then we will continue to go to the Alter Rebbe. So learn the Alter Rebbe.
Which simon is it?
What is it?
Which simon in the Alter Rebbe?
Reish Samach Aleph. Reish Samach Aleph. And maybe let's come back at 1 o'clock and I will give you the shir right. Okay?
Is we should learn Mechavrusa?
Yeah, I'll break you out.
Okay. Okay.
I should go to the breakout room?
No. What? Huh? No, you stay.
They asked me if I want to go to the breakout room, so.
You could.
The computer is asking me if I want to go.
have to take out Moshe. Okay. So we are back.
Yeah.